Welcome back to PHAE'S PLACE, a podcast where dreamers have the liberty to dream. I'm your host, Phaedra, and I am so excited that we have this time to dream together. People think of social media, they usually think it's just about posting pics, but it requires real skill because it's real work. Social media management is a marketing tactic that helps businesses promote their brands. That's the reason why you can stay so connected, entertained, and informed while you're scrolling because of people like today's guest, C, D, and Miko. Thank you so much, C, for stopping by PHAE'S Place.
Thanks for having me. I'm so happy to be here.
I'm so excited too. So just a little fun fact for my listening audience. C and I were best friends at elementary school. We do stay connected on social media.
Yes, that's what it's all about.
That's what it's all about. And another cool fact is that her birthday is a day before mine.
Gotta love it. August babies.
August babies, Leo's in the house, Even though I didn't know you at 5, what did you dream about becoming when you was 5 years old? What was your dream career?
So this question is like always funny to me because as a kid, I never had something that I was like convinced that I was going to be. And every year in school, they ask you like to draw like a picture of draw what you want to be. And every year I would draw something different, like a teacher or a doctor. I don't know what I was drawing. One year I drew, my mom loves to bring this up, that I drew that I wanted to be like someone who does nails, like manicures. And she was like, where did you come up with that? But I really like didn't have an answer for it, like deep down. And I feel like even when I was like choosing, I'm jumping ahead, but even like when I was choosing like what to study in school, I didn't know, but it's because it like didn't exist yet. So anyway, long story short, I knew that I like what I like to do, but I was never like convinced on one thing.
And I feel like so many creatives can relate to that. And I think that's like the essence of who we are because it's never just one thing. It's like asking a parent to pick their favorite child. You know what I mean?
100%.
You can't just pick one project. Michelle Obama had said, like, you can have it all, but you can't have it all at one time. And I often think about that quote because there have been phases in my life where I'm like, I'm all about singing, or I'm all about dancing, or I'm all about acting, but I love them all.
Definitely. And I feel like our number one job is to just be ourselves in the best way that we can, and like expressing who you are in like the truest form. It comes out in like all different ways, but just aligning with that and then see what happens.
I totally agree. So you did mention school. What did you study in college?
In college, I went to a liberal arts school and I got a degree in global studies, which was basically like peacekeeping mechanisms and international relations. That was another thing where I was like, I don't really know. I know what I like. I really like Spanish and I knew that I wanted to learn like foreign languages. And I knew that I was like kind of interested in like travel and things like that. So then I started it. I loved it while I was doing it, but then graduation came and I was like, oh, I don't know about this. I don't know about these internships and jobs. I don't know if they're like speaking to me.
Yeah, I totally feel that. I went I went to school originally to be a pediatric occupational therapist, and I started off in psychology. And when I realized, oh, Phaedra, you're gonna have to do a lot of science, I said, what am I getting myself into?
Yeah, it's so funny. Like, I really did love school, and I feel like I learned so much in those years about like that I use today. Like, how to be a really strong writer is something that I use every day, and how to talk to people, and how to write an email. And, also the state of the world is always relevant, but it's like the hard skills versus the soft skills. It's like in those years, you just connect more and more with like who you are and how to express it in different ways. So like when it's not through taking classes or doing assignments, then it's like how do you morph that into like just a different expression of what you're doing. So at that point, I was not taking any photos or doing any social media work, but in a way, I was still like developing that.
Yeah. So, how did you discover social media management? When did you say, yes, this is what I want to do?
So I graduated in May from school. I went to school in Texas, and the week that I was like applying to internships, I saw on my Instagram that someone that I followed, an influencer, had posted on her story, like, I'm hiring a personal assistant. So I was like, oh, great. I need a job in the summer for when I go home, and it will just be temporary, famous last words, and I'll just try it out. I'll just apply because I'm already applying to all of these like state internships for history. I don't know what I was even applying to, but it's funny looking back now, like how everything happens. But anyway, so I just like sent my resume, which happened to be done, and she wanted to interview me, but I was like, oh, actually, I'm still in Texas. And I think that confused her. But anyway, so I interviewed, I started to work with her in influencer marketing, which is like a little bit different from what I do now. It's like partnering with brands and like helping to create the content for on the back end with an influencer. So really that was like someone else is like directing and has the vision and the brief, and I'm just like helping execute it. That was kind of how I started. And then throughout the years, someone needs someone to run the social media for this coffee shop. Then I got started with that. Then it just kind of naturally progressed from there through like my network and also viewing how I offered what I do to people in a different way was like very organic. So it's kind of like need based, and then I kind of had to stop it and be like, wait, I need to look at what's happening here and add some structure into it after the fact.
First off, congratulations for graduating. Now, what did your parents say when you went to school, graduated with global studies, and then you're like, hey, well, now I'm an assistant and I'm doing some social media things?
It's so funny. I honestly don't remember them saying any comment on it because if you know me, it's very typical. Like, I can't make up my mind or like, she's just doing what she's gonna do, which is hilarious. They, I feel like, also didn't know what a global studies degree job was. In my mind, I was like gonna either go to grad school or work in a museum or something up that alley. But then when I didn't do it, they just kind of accepted that I was pivoting without any questions asked. They just assumed that I'm just doing C things.
And I love that because when I found out that you are doing content creation and social media, I'm like, yeah, that's totally C because you are always very creative. You and I both have a passion for dance, but you also have your own business. Talk a little bit about that. What's that business all about?
Yeah, so just going back to the dance thing, I guess growing up, I always had this outlet of dance. I basically went to dance every day, but I didn't view it as I'm a creative or I'm an artist. I always just viewed it as this is part of what I do. So then I guess once I created the business, it kind of was a question of like identity for me. Like, am I really a person who can call themselves a creative? But what does that mean? And like what's wrapped up into that?
Mm-hmm.
And I think when you go to school for something specific, you can say, okay, I went to medical school, so I have these X, Y, and Z credentials that allow me to move forward into the next step. For me, it was about giving myself permission to not need the prerequisites that we tell ourselves that we need and like trusting that. So that was like really the first step in like creating a business for me.
I love that you're bringing that up. I feel a lot of creatives do that because I even found myself talking like I have a degree in theater and I also have a degree in screenwriting. I don't always feel like that. Like, can I even call myself like an actress? Because I don't. It's not like I act every day. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, definitely.
I love that you're bringing that up because that's something very real that a lot of us go through. So how did you get out of that? I think they call it like imposter syndrome.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. How'd you work through that?
That's a good question. I think honestly, anyone who talks to me knows I say this all the time, like, it depends on the day. Like, some
That's
days
real.
you
Hmm.
feel like, "I got this," and some days you feel like, "I don't know what I'm doing today, but I'm just gonna get to the end of the day." So, for me, that helps me not get so overwhelmed in, like, the big picture stuff, and I think it's just about trusting yourself and knowing that you're kind of on the path that you're meant to be, and there's a plan in all of this. Just finding some sort of order in the chaos, for me, is the number one thing that helps my business.
This is such a great conversation.
Oh.
What is your name of your business?
When I was like, "All right, time to create all the business back end things," like, I'm not good at, like, taxes and all of the things.
Same,
I
same.
The hardest thing for me was to come up with a name for my business. I
Mm.
don't know what the mental block was. I think it was part of that, "Am I legit?" or whatever. My business basically has no name. It does have a name, it's like it was whatever wasn't taken because I gave my accountant, like, 5 options. It was C media, C video, C photo, and whichever one was not taken in New York State is the one that I did. I think it's C media. That just shows you how type B I am. I'm not type A at all. At a certain point, I think I was type A, but that has gone away as I lean more into just creative things every day.
I love it.
Anyway, it's funny. But my business, I view it as just me. What I do is it's different with every client, but that's because my connection to the brands and the people who run them are different. So whether it's a family photo shoot, which I just did one today, or it's a month-long or a year-long contract for social media management where we're really building a brand, it's all exists under the business.
Do you have an idea for a business, but bringing it to fruition seems so overwhelming? Look no further. Embolden Consulting is a strategy and creative consulting agency that turns bold ideas into thriving ventures. When rebranding my podcast, PHAE'S Place, I needed direction and someone who gets it. Who gets me? I tried Embolden Consulting and was not disappointed. The results I received showed that there was close attention to detail and gave me insight of what I needed to make my business work. You have the vision. Let Embolden Consulting help you execute the dream. Their services include strategic messaging and branding development, operational strategy, project management, and marketing campaign design. Email Jodi Iyamu at emboldenconsulting.com. That's JODIIYAMU at emboldenconsulting.com to set up your consultation today. Use the code PHAE'S to receive a free consultation. I want to get into the business part because I don't know how many creatives are really good at the business part because, we stick to our lane, the creative side.
Mhm.
But when it came to the real business side of being a business owner, how did you come up with your pricing and contracts and gigs? What was that process like?
That's something that I still work through and question, and I think it's really easy to get sucked back into, like, the imposter syndrome of knowing your worth and being okay with charging for your services, and also knowing that you provide value in a way that is the same as someone buying a sandwich because they would pay for that. We're building something that is more abstract, a film or a Instagram post. In reality, more and more the creator economy is just getting more streamlined and there are more resources out there, but honestly, I always tell other people who do the same job as me to ask me what my rates are. I ask them, and it's really just about talking with your peers and not making it a taboo subject. Not to be competitive. What are you charging? What are you charging? But just
That's
like
good.
sharing information because I think we all like move forward together.
Oh, I agree 110%. Are you part of a creative club? Do you have like a bunch of creative friends?
I wouldn't say I'm part of any group,
Mhm.
but I think a lot of my clients have their own vision. That's something really important for me when I'm like choosing who to work with. You have to have your own perspective on it so that I can then come in and help bring it to life, but it should never just be my creation. So I would say that all my clients are very creative.
What is your secret for brainstorming fresh, creative, new ideas?
My secret is go for a walk. The second that I step outside my house and I don't have any of my things with me, like my computer or my phone or whatever, then I'm like, oh my God, I know everything that I need to go home and do right now. But it's when you step away from it and give it like a little distance, it always helps. That's also, I feel like, the best advice for writer's block. Forget about it for as long as you can and until you have to come back to it.
When I used to write songs, I was like, well, if I remember this chorus like tomorrow, then I know that this is the song I need to continue to work on.
Exactly. And it should excite you and bring you joy when you think about things like that
Yeah.
you're creating.
Now, I've been following you, of course, on social media, and you have been tagged with all these different brands. And I just want to say I'm so proud of you. Talk about a successful campaign that you've managed. What made it successful, and what did you learn from it?
Oh, I love that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
There's a hotel near where I live that I started going to as just a guest. The more I went there, the more I was like, this is a place, not only a place, but a brand that I can visualize myself down the line working with. So I think first it started with just having the thought pop into my head and the confidence or like the knowing that it was possible, putting it out there into the world. Just to myself, but in my mind, I started the thought. Then I shot an event there for one of my current clients, so it like kind of aligned and I met the marketing team there. And then I started to work with the hotel and take photos for them. So that's like kind of an example of how things would progress and in a way that like feels really aligned. I actually also think it's interesting that most of my clients actually don't find me through social media. I find a lot of them like through connections and in real life.
Oh, that's great. That means your work is speaking for you, see?
Yeah, I it's kind of ironic because I do social media and that's like not where they come from. But
People are talking about you in a good
but
way.
it's really interesting and it's not what I would have expected because I'm honestly not that outgoing. But however, there are things that happen that put you where you kind of need to be. So in my mind, I view that as a success, the natural progression of connecting with clients that are aligned with me.
So let's talk about work-life balance. Being that you're online all the time, how do you stay balanced?
Balance is like not the word that I use to describe life. I am a really actually unbalanced person, I would say. On one hand, I'm really good at taking time for myself. I'm totally fine with not answering a text in the morning and like going out for a walk without my phone. On the other hand, there are days that I wake up, get on my phone, and then go to sleep on my phone. And I'm like, wow, I was in a work zone all day, every day. So there are like the two extremes that I think also like the creative mind needs, like to get into the
Mhm.
flow. It's hard to be like, okay, now stop and eat lunch.
Right.
Sometimes
Yeah,
when you're in
sometimes.
it. Sometimes I'm like, ooh, time for a break, and I can't get enough of a break.
Right.
So, I don't know if true balance really exists, but there are things that help. Definitely for me, scheduling a class always helps because that gives me a cutoff. So, like scheduling, booking in advance, like a yoga class, just say, because then I'm forced to be there like an appointment. And learning that making appointments with yourself and like canceling on yourself is the same as canceling on someone else. And it's just as serious.
Oh,
So
that
you
is,
shouldn't cancel on yourself.
you are dropping gems, see. You are dropping gems. What advice would you give to someone who wants to become a social media manager?
My friend Hillary always tells me you start by starting. That is like the best advice for anything, but especially social media. It's like getting out of your own way and just starting with something small, because posting on social media is good because you have like endless opportunities, but it's also hard because there's like endless open-ended things that you could be posting. My advice would just be to start and reach out to people in your network who do a similar thing, because if they want to help you, they'll support you, and if they don't want to help you, then you know to avoid them.
Hi, friends, it's Phaedra, and you are listening to PHAE'S Place. Join us each week as we talk to industry insiders about their journey and what it takes to turn dreams into a reality. Whether you aspire to be in the entertainment field or just inspired by the hustle, count this as your backstage pass. Join us every Monday for a brand new episode. And also follow us on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook at PHAE'S Place. Well, take us through a day in your life. What does a social media manager actually do?
Okay, I can tell you like what I did today. I think it's
Okay.
like pretty accurate besides this podcast, which is fun and
Yes.
interesting. So this morning I logged on to my work phone. I posted the scheduled content that I had planned like from the beginning of this month. And then I edited some new posts for things that are coming up this week. So there's only a certain amount that I can plan in advance. Sometimes things come up, so I schedule like a little bit of time for that in my day. Then I had a call with a marketing team. Then I edited a gallery of photos from 2 weeks ago because I'm always behind on editing photos. Then I had a family photo shoot on the beach. So I met up with my friend Victoria and her kid and her husband, and we took some photos. Then I'm doing this. After this, I will go back to my computer and I will finish editing videos for a client who I help her edit videos. So some clients I shoot and edit the content, and some clients they shoot the content and I will edit it. So I just have to wrap that up, and then I'll go back to editing photos, and then that's my day. Then I do it all again tomorrow.
How many projects do you work on at one time? Do you cut yourself off, or like I can only have 3 clients at a time, or how's it work?
Yeah, that's something that I think I'm learning as my business grows. It's like how much I can handle and maintaining the integrity to my current clients while also wanting to say yes to all the new and amazing opportunities that come my way. But I think it's a question of like having boundaries and knowing like maybe I can't take this on now, but I can take it on in a month or something like that. So it's always kind of changing. I would say right now I have between 5 and 10 social media clients at any time.
5 to 10. Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot.
That's a lot. I worked for a law firm and I was special projects coordinator, and part of my task was being the social media manager. And I'm like, it was a lot because even though it was like one law firm, we had so many projects going on and it was for the community. So 5 to 10 is a lot. Kudos.
That piece of it, I think, is where my mind is like organized. Maybe that's why I'm disorganized in other pieces, because it compartmentalized what posts are going up for, or like what campaigns are in the works for certain things and not. But it is all also on paper in a calendar system, so that creating the systems to support what you're doing is always worth the time of setting it up, even though it honestly takes me hours and hours to plan like each content calendar. But then once I front load it, then it's more manageable day to day.
I would say organization when it comes to social media is a skill set that one must have. What's another skill set that someone should have?
I think you do have to have like the practical tools, but I think you also have to cultivate the confidence that's needed to be behind what you're sharing, believe in what you're saying. So I always feel like being honest and real you can always tell when someone is genuine by their social media, or at least I feel like I can.
What do you use to edit your videos and photos?
Yeah, so I edit 90% of things on my phone.
Okay.
So honestly, all you need for this job is a phone.
Okay.
The other tools make it easier. My iPad, I edit my photos on my iPad now. I move certain things around. So for photos, I use the Lightroom app and I use the Tezza app. And then for videos, I use the Edits app, which is like from Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to use Splice. I don't use it anymore because it started
Same.
to like glitch,
Yeah,
which is
same.
sad
Mm-hmm.
because I really liked Splice.
Me too.
You know? So when it went away, I was really sad. I don't know what happened. And then I was using CapCut, and I would say now sometimes I need to use CapCut for like a certain font or that sort of thing, but I would say mostly I'm on Edits on the Instagram app.
And I was really surprised with Edits. I downloaded it and I was like, oh, you could do a lot.
Yeah, I feel like the algorithm like on Instagram favors the posts that you export through Edits. I don't know if that's actually true. A lot of social media is just guessing. So that's my guess based on what I've seen with performance. I use Edits, but I don't know if that's real or I just made that up. Probably both.
I think you might be onto something there.
Yeah, they definitely want you to like use their apps.
What do you feel about this? Is just like a hot take. What do you feel about all the social media blending together? Like there was a Twitter, and that was just for like you typing quick little things, and now Snapchat, but now all of these social media platforms seem like they're combining all the features. What do you think about this?
Yeah, I think that's definitely real. And this industry changes like by the day. When Instagram launched video, it basically made 80% of the knowledge that we had about Instagram now irrelevant because
Mm-hmm.
now in-feed video is like everything. So it's just about kind of like being adaptable and observing what is happening and trying to stay on top of it, because I think what the apps do wrong is that they all try and borrow what's working for the other apps. But in reality, TikTok is a video app, but now all the other apps are also video apps.
And TikTok added an element where you can put text. So now you just
Yeah.
have text. Like, come on, TikTok.
I feel like they should just stick with what they do well and continue to do that, but that's never going to be what a business who's trying to scale does. So it's just about kind of not letting it get to you. Because there was a certain point when I would get really frustrated at things continuing to change. Like just when I felt like I got it, then something new comes along. But it's just about being open and testing new things and being okay with when posts fail or don't perform well or whatever it is.
And something that I found so interesting learning about the creative industries, all of them, is that they really don't like taking risk, but the things that usually garnish enough attention is because something new has happened. Like if you're pitching a movie, they want you to say, okay, what is this movie compared to? And it has to be like within the last 5 years or something. And I'm like, but what happens if you want to remake something that happened like 100 years ago, but want to put your own twist to it? They're not really willing to risk that. But I'm like, that's what people want to see. They want to see something they haven't seen. Otherwise, they'll just look at what they already saw.
Definitely. Yeah, and that relates so much to social media because of keeping up with the trends.
Right.
First of all, it's like a full-time job trying to stay on top of what new video trends are happening every week, but it's also incorporating things that work for you and being okay with not participating in the trends that are not aligned with your brand. Even though they might get a lot of eyeballs, it's not people like we're gonna stick. So being true to your vision is always the number one. That's going to give you the most potential for growth and finding your people. And then the things that are popular, they're popular because for a reason. It's not that there's anything wrong with them being popular, but it's not necessarily following a trend and getting a lot of views is going to grow your brand.
So what are you currently dreaming of?
I'm currently dreaming of my next vacation.
Yes. Yes, vacation. Where are we going? Where are you
I
going?
I know. Okay, I haven't planned another trip yet, but I just love to travel. I think it disrupts our lives in the best
Mm-hmm.
way.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm always looking forward and dreaming of my next vacation. I don't know if that's a good answer.
No, that's a great answer. As far as clients as well, have you thought about like maybe you want to work with a big brand, like maybe a designer brand, or do you want to just stay local?
Yeah, my goals for my business. I think it's something for me that's like more fluid, and I struggle with that question of what's next because I don't really know what's next
Mhm.
and being open to new opportunities, but also not trying to cling so tightly to like, I need X amount of this by this day. Because when you make a business plan or make a marketing plan, it's a lot about that. And I think the new era of freelance and small business owners is going to be more trusting and less rigid.
Yeah, I agree.
Scaling is always a question of businesses. I think it's hard when you are your brand to say, I'm going to scale my business X amount before it happens. It just includes letting go of certain responsibilities that it's not always aligned to scale it and hire more people when you are like more involved in the creative process. That's a good question.
Thank you so much, C, for stopping by PHAE'S Place. You are always invited. And tell the people how they can reach out to you if they want to hire you for their next content project.
Yeah, so thank you for having me. If you want to find me, I'm on Instagram at C D'Amico. So my first name is C, S-E-A, like the ocean. And my last name's D'Amico.
We will add all the information into the show notes. Join us next Monday where we'll get a chance to talk to more industry professionals. I love you all for listening. This podcast episode was recorded with Riverside.